Hi, I'm Crystal.
Hi, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Darren.
This video will instruct high school football athletes in speed and agility training. This level of training is phase 5 in the NASM-OPT template, which is power training. These exercises are geared towards training responsiveness and overall speed so that the athlete could have explosiveness in running.
New athletes should perform this circuit 3 times a week at 2 sets of 2 reps each. Current athletes should perform this circuit 4 times a week at 2 sets of 3 reps each. For these exercises, a minimum of 7 cones is needed.
Throughout all of these exercises, the athlete will sprint at full speed, keeping the same tempo from start to finish. Proper sprinting involves only the balls of the feet touching the ground. Relaxed shoulders, elbows bent at 90 degrees, head and chin straight, and core always engaged for stability.
To warm up for this circuit, the athlete will start with a 20-minute jog followed by hamstring and calf stretches. The first dynamic hamstring stretch that we will show you is the toe touch. To perform this, you will stand up straight and kick your leg forward without bending your knee, extending your opposite arm to touch your toes. When bringing your leg down, swing it backwards behind the stationary leg before bringing it back to neutral position to switch legs. This will be done 10 to 15 times with each leg.
The second dynamic hamstring stretch that will be done is the one leg stabilizer. To perform this, you will start by standing on one leg with your hands by your side and your non-supporting leg behind you. Keep your back straight, shoulders back, core engaged, and lean forward from the hips, not the waist, towards the floor until you feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Return to the start position and repeat. This will be done 10 to 50 times with each leg.
The third dynamic hamstring stretch is the forearm lunge. The athlete will perform a stretched lunge with both hands on each side of the forward foot, pushing the hips down to the floor and bringing it back up so that the back foot is flat on the ground while the forward foot is stretched out on the heel. This will be done 5 to 10 times on each leg.
The fourth warm-up exercise will be a high knee walk, which helps improve hip mobility. You stand up straight with arms at your side and bring one knee up as high as comfortable. Slowly lower to repeat the opposite leg so that each step takes you forward.
The last warm-up exercise is a dynamic calf stretch. The athlete will begin on all fours, with their hips up, forming an upside-down V with their body. Knees and elbows should be kept straight. Raise one leg to rest it on the opposite leg, then slowly bring the heel of the planted foot down as close to the ground as possible. Raise the same heel up for 5 seconds, and then repeat. This will be done 10 times with each leg.
Now that we are finally getting to the real exercises, set up the cones in an L shape 5 yards apart from each other. Starting from the top of the L, run to the middle cone, touch it with your hand, and immediately explode back to the starting cone. Touch it to as well as with the same hand. Then explode once again toward the middle cone, sprinting around it, followed by sprinting a figure 8 around the last cone, making a turn at the middle cone once again, and finishing through a full speed to the starting cone.
The second sprinting exercise is the run, shuffle, run, which will improve transitioning in and out of a position quickly. To set up, set 4 cones in a line. The first 2 will be 5 yards away from each other, the second and third will be 4 yards away from each other, and the third and fourth will be 5 yards away again. The athlete will start by sprinting from the first cone to the second cone. Upon reaching the second cone, the athlete will transition into a lateral shuffle without stopping or slowing down. Reaching the third cone, the athlete will transition back into a sprint towards the fourth cone. These steps will be repeated back towards the first cone.
The third exercise of this circuit is the cone alley. This exercise helps transition in and out of a back pedal with a slight angle. This setup requires 7 cones, all 4 yards apart and slightly off-center from each other. Start at the furthest cone to the side in the back and run towards the second one, which is to the front. At the second cone, the transition will involve sinking the hips into a back pedal at a slight angle until reaching the third cone. The process will be repeated until reaching the final cone.
The fourth exercise is the cone alley with shuffling. This exercise is a highly dynamic drill for all sports that focus on the same goal as the previous cone alley. The setup requires 7 cones, each 4 yards apart. Start at the furthest cone to the side and in the back, sprinting towards the second cone in the front and transitioning into a lateral shuffle towards the third cone. Upon reaching the third cone, sink the hips into a back pedal at a slight angle until reaching the fourth cone, which is at the center. The process will be repeated by transitioning into a sprint from the center cone to the fifth cone.
The fifth and final exercise of the circuit is the 5-10-5, a popular combined drill that is used to measure quickness and agility. The setup requires 3 cones in a line at 5 yards apart from each other. Starting from the middle cone and your hand touching the ground, break into a sprint towards the right cone. Upon reaching it, squat and touch the ground, then cut and sprint back towards the starting cone, but run past it and to the cone on the far left. Upon reaching the left cone, squat and touch the ground, cutting a second time back towards the starting cone to finish. To cool down, you can perform 7 to 10 minutes of easy effort running, 3 to 5 minutes of brisk to gentle walking, and then perform the stretches that we did in the warm-up again.
Progressive methods can be incorporated in order to help clients continue to improve once the client has physically plateaued to the exercise. In order to accomplish this, distance between the cones in each exercise can be decreased. Decreasing the distance between the cones would further challenge the athletes to quickly accelerate and decelerate while still reaching top speed during the short sprint. Additionally, the athletes can be also given the time limit to complete each drill. This will help the athletes track of the time that they take for each exercise and know what they need to do improve.
Since this is power training, which is phase 5 in the OPT template, it focuses solely on enhancing speed strength and increasing rate of force production, so regressive methods should not be used. To achieve this, the athlete should always be sprinting. Since a sprint is supposed to be all out, the running speed cannot be reduced and still be called a sprint. However, one person's maximum speed may differ from that of another, and both are still considered a sprint. Alright, go! Wait a minute, David!
No, David!